Hey guys, Jeremy with Middle Tennessee Firearms Training. Another concealed carry review. We've got the Springfield Hellcat here. Before we go any further though, want to make sure we get a couple things out of the way. If you like the content you're seeing on our YouTube channel, please like, share, and subscribe. We've been doing a lot to grow the channel here recently, and it's working, and of course we appreciate that. It allows us to do more on our channel, including what's coming here soon. We will be doing a podcast on our YouTube channel as well. So looking forward to that. Also, Springfield did not sponsor this video in any shape or form. This is my opinion, nothing more, nothing less. I carried it for a couple of days to kind of get a feel for how it would ride and that concealability factor. We bought the gun. I'll explain why we have these 5 magazines up here with it here shortly. Also, guys, I'm not gonna plug too much here with our website, but please check out our website. Get in a training class here soon. If you're near us, come train with us. We'd love to have you out on the range. If you're not near us, please find an instructor near you, find a class near you, and get some training. I can't tell you how many times I encounter people at marketing events and different promotional events that the first thing they tell me is, "Oh, I've got my carry permit, I'm good to go." And I can't tell you that just what that does in my head of, wow, you've got a real wild, false sense of security there, because that's not firearms training at all. If you think the carry permit class is going to prepare you for that adrenaline dump in that crisis moment where you have to decide to shoot or not to shoot and how you're going to do it, I got to tell you that's you're, again, living in a fantasy world. So get in a class and train hard. Mid10firearmstraining.com. We'll put a link in the description. Again, you can follow us on our Facebook and Instagram as well. Future videos, we like to post a little bit of training content as well. So check that out as well. We've got some good stuff already up on the channel. All right, let's dive into this thing here. Let's not spend too much time in the pre-work here of this video. There's a lot to talk about on this guy. Where we rank these guns: concealability, reliability, sights, trigger, shootability, capacity, customer service, and the manufacturer's reputation. And then obviously price are all key elements when you're looking for a concealed carry gun. I know when you go to a firearms store, gun store, whatever, and you're looking at guns, it can be a very intimidating environment because sometimes the sales guy has certain sale goals he wants to hit with certain manufacturers, or they're running a certain sale on certain guns and they want to sell X number of these guns, whatever. And a lot of times they'll give their biased opinion on that as well. I get it. So let's hope that this helps you out a good bit here. Let's start simple. Sights. 10 out of 10 on sights. Y'all know by now if you have a high-vis front sight and it's also a night sight, I dig that. That gets a perfect score from me, along with the fact that it is cut for an optic as well. If you want to throw an optic, it's good to go there. So 10 out of 10 on the sights. Capacity, another perfect score, 10 out of 10. Reason being, again, anything that's in this Micro 9 carry series of pistols that holds double-digit rounds, that's phenomenal. These are 11+1 flush fitting, and then 13+1, and then 15+1 to their larger magazines that came with this. Again, we'll talk more about magazines here in a moment. As far as the trigger goes, I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. I'm not really a huge fan of it, but it's hard to argue with. It's got a kind of it's mostly a flat-face trigger on it. I dig that. The trigger safety does not get in the way like previous guns that we've reviewed, or one gun that we reviewed. The trigger has a nice crisp break, and then it's got a pretty good reset. The only thing is, again, why it doesn't get a higher score is it does have a little bit of creep that happens when you get to what we call the wall. So trigger, 8 out of 10. Shootability, I'm going to give this thing a pretty solid 9 out of 10. And the reason being for that is previous guns we talked about where their grip texture stops. The grip texture on this gun goes all the way up and has it in all the right places. When I'm running a class and I want people to, hey, when you're not shooting, you're off target, and I want that finger high and tight off the trigger, high and tight on the frame, this has a perfect touch point with that grip texture on there. I like that. The other side does the same as well, and that's a perfect place for your thumb to rest when you're establishing your master grip, and your thumb gets on there, and that just has, again, good grip texture in all the right places to create all the right friction to help you reduce felt recoil and control the recoil with your master grip. So I dig that. Shootability, 9 out of 10. As far as reliability goes, I'm giving it 8 out of 10, and it's not a bad thing. Like, no issue that I could really say that I could blame the gun necessarily for when it came to like the ammo. I didn't have any misfires. I didn't have any stovepipes, even through the break-in period. I did have a couple that were a failure to fire, but I would call that more the ammo than I did the gun. Again, there was no issue where I could absolutely say it was definitely the gun, except for one thing. And I don't know that this really affects reliability as much. We did talk to Springfield about it, but the slide was failing to lock to the rear on all the magazines through 800-ish rounds. We actually stopped the review process to contact Springfield and talk to them about the issue.
Locking back at empty.
Real quick, before any of you keyboard warriors out there try to blame the master grip and me pushing down on the slide release, we even broke our grip down and stayed away from the slide release purposefully and actually fired it in different broken grips to see if we could get it to work. And no, it still did not lock back to the rear on empty on any of these magazines. So contacted Springfield. Springfield was very quick to respond and actually very quick to say, hey, yeah, we'll take it back, sure. Sent out a box, opened a customer order on this gun, and sent me the box and everything. I decided to take it apart, clean it, all that good stuff, and then take it to local gunsmith because I know those people down there and they do a pretty good job anytime I've ever had to work with them. And even when I worked at that said gun shop, they did a pretty good job on the gun as well. So took it in there, told them what it was doing. It took it apart. A couple guys took it apart in there and messed with it and tried to, figure out, is there something wrong with the slide release? Is there something on the internal mechanism? What was it, They put it all back together and said, Jeremy, we couldn't find anything. So I was really close to going ahead and sending it back to Springfield anyway. But I said, you know what? I've cleaned it. We've taken it apart a few times. Let me run it back out to the range and see what's started happening. And once you know it, the very first magazine that I started shooting, it actually locked to the rear, which I found, whoa, why is it doing it now? We put some more magazines through it, but we noticed it started happening again where it wasn't locking back to the rear. As we fired more rounds and we crossed over that 1,000 round threshold, we started noticing it happening less and less. I've had it in private classes here recently and had students fire this gun and noticed that it started locking back to the rear more. So I actually let Springfield know, hey, I'm not going to send it back just yet. They closed out the order but made note of what I told them. And they've just said, hey, if you experience any more issues, don't hesitate, send it back to us and we'll try to figure out what's going on with it. And if they had to, I think they probably would have replaced the gun, honestly. So customer service. Reliability, I gave it that 8 out of 10. Customer service, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. And I know what some of y'all are saying, like, hey, in your previous videos, Jeremy, you said that you wouldn't give customer service a perfect score unless you had to send a gun back. I have sent a gun back to Springfield, and they've replaced it with a brand new one. In this case, I didn't send it back yet. But in previous cases, I had an AR platform Springfield that blew up. It literally was mangled so bad you couldn't even take the gun apart. Sent it back to Springfield. Springfield did not ask questions, did not say, hey, what did you do? What was the ammo? They blamed the ammo, which I get it. They would. Of course, the ammo manufacturer would blame the gun. That's the game we played there. But inside of a month, it was less than a month, I had a brand new AR replaced and taken care of. No pushback whatsoever from Springfield. Every time I've ever had to deal with Springfield, great. So they get, again, 10 out of 10. All right, value, price of the gun. As it sits, these 5 magazines here came with the gun. Optics ready, night sight on the front, high vis front sight. Great setup here. We even got the nice FDE slide, right? So $549 plus tax, and it came with this range bag here. Ooh, range bag. Some of you are like, ooh, purse. I'm here to say it's a satchel. Indiana Jones carries one. So what's wrong with that? So anyways, not bad. I mean, if you're going to carry it to the range and you want to put it in a bag, sure, you got this. But the other purpose I liked for this is I took all the stuff that I had in it out, but medical gear. If you're one of those that wants to carry an emergency bag for just in your car, ready to go. Whatever the case may be, this serves great purpose for that. It actually fits the bill for that very well. It's very well made. It's a nice bag. No complaints there. When you think about the value of what I'm getting here and ranking the price, $549 plus tax and background check, obviously, and where I got it actually happened to be online, so I did have to pay a transfer fee. But even all that said and done, still paid, what, less than $650 for this and had 5 mags. Really, most times Springfield just ships you the gun and maybe, you know, if you get in a gun store, maybe 2 mags, maybe 3 if you're lucky. And then you're, you know, if you're wanting additional mags, they're $40 a piece, 35 and up. So yeah, the value here in this gun, I'm impressed with. 10 out of 10 on the price. Again, for the value. I can't complain there. I know what some of you guys out there might say about Springfield, and you have some reservations about Springfield and their past, but they're not the same Springfield anymore. And I think they've tried proving that, and they're coming up with some good stuff now. And the other thing I didn't mention already, but I like that they got rid of grip safeties. You know, their XD and their XDSs, they all had grip safeties. I'm not saying that they were a big problem and ever caused really big problems, but it was just something that, you know, you didn't want to see necessarily on a concealed carry gun anymore. We kind of moved past that, and Springfield has done that. So no complaints, guys. Is it going to replace my SIG P365? No. You know, maybe if I was new to the concealed carry world, maybe I settle in on this before I go to a P365, or before I even think about a P365, I get in on this, and I'm probably going to be fine. I'm not going to consider anything else. But because I was already dug in on my P365 and thousands and thousands and thousands of rounds deep and hours, years even training with my P365, I'm not going to just up and switch because I'm like, ooh, cool value. No, if this was a first purchase, yes, it's a great gun. If you already have a concealed carry gun that stands up to the capacity and the reliability that this thing offers, maybe you don't switch to this. But if you're in the market for a concealed carry gun or was considering one, this is definitely one to consider before you tap into some of the others out there. There's no reason to consider a Glock 43 when it comes to this. This is better. Again, I put it neck and neck with a P365. I just favor the 365 more because I've trained more, and I love my P365. But guys, give it a shot. Tell me what you think in the comments. Like, share, and subscribe if you carry this gun and what you think about it. I know they make various versions, obviously with bigger grip, longer barrel, some of them with the compensator on there. But overall, I'm very impressed with the gun and impressed with the value. I would say that this one, so far of the guns that we reviewed, best value in the gun and highest marks on the customer service so far as well. So that's all I got, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, like, share, and subscribe on our channel. I appreciate that greatly. And hey, get into a training class. If you're not anywhere near us, find an instructor near you. Get into a training class. It's very important to train those skills so that you can pull from those skills, pull from your toolbox when you need them. That's especially with the world the way it's going right now. Hey, be a good idea to be trained up in that and have some of those skills ready to pull from. I appreciate you guys a lot tuning in. Again, also you can follow us on our Facebook and our Instagram as well. I appreciate that. We'll see you next time. Again, Jeremy, Middle Tennessee Firearms Training. Educate, train, defend. I hope to see you on the range.